to Fright Night.
Well, it looks like we're doing vampires again. Not the ones from the 70s. That's a definite. Well, I have to say, it's a classic, isn't it? Roll intro.
And now, our feature presentation.
Tired of good girls?
Good night, Charlie.
Ready for some real excitement? Looking for someone incredibly seductive?
Do you know how to use your lips, Charlie?
Then this is your lucky night.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Fright Night 2.
I kill vampires.
Enter a world where each embrace takes your breath away.
Come kiss me.
Maybe it's the full moon, Charlie.
And every kiss is a killer. Roddy McDowell, William Ragsdale.
Do you mind if I borrow these?
If you thought one was fun, wait till you do two. Fright Night 2.
Oh, man.
Hello and welcome to another episode of It Could Have Been a Classic, and I suppose it's a bit of a Christmas special. We're going to be going on about a sequel that, well, have a lot of people seen it, and there have been two remakes since. 1998's Fright Night Part 2. I absolutely love this movie, and we're going to get into it. Fright Night Part 2 is a 1988 American horror film directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, starring William Ragsdale, the legendary Roddy McDowell, Tracy Lind, and Julie Carmen. It is the sequel to the 1985 film Fright Night, with Ragsdale and McDowell reprising their roles. And the music. Brad Fiedel is a genius. He did the music. Also returned with another distinct synthesizer score following the plot of the first film. Focused on Charley Brewster, who's now a college student, encounters a group of vampires led by the beautiful Regine, played by Julie Carmen, who was seeking him out for revenge. It was released by New Century Vista in North America and TriStar Pictures elsewhere in 1989. The film grossed almost $3 million domestically and has since become a cult film like its predecessor. In 2003, it received a brief issuing on DVD, entertainment in full-frame presentation, but the release quickly went out of print and has since become a rare collector's item. I've actually seen this going for stupid money. I managed to get a copy of it years ago at a convention, but I've seen this going for stupid money. Now, there is a Blu-ray version. It's in Spanish. It's a Spanish release. I don't know much about the transfer. I am looking at that on Amazon. I'm thinking about ordering it because I'm such a fan of the first Fright Night film. A third film was planned with a target release in the year of 1990, but studio discussions over the popularity of the franchise led to the film being cancelled in October. So Tom Holland, director of the original Fright Night, confirmed he was writing a sequel film called Fright Night Resurrection that would ignore the 1988 sequel and be a direct sequel to his original film. Oh, they can't do that. No, this Fright Night 2 stands for me. It's got to stand. You can't just ignore it. I know that we're going to cover a load of this about its release and the story, but you can't ignore Fright Night 2. I can't accept that.
Good night, Charlie.
So the film's set a few years later after what happened with Jerry Dandrige. Charlie's now at college, he's seen a psychiatrist, and he's convinced himself that Jerry Dandrige was like a cult leader and a serial killer. Peter Vincent's back on the TV, one of his cheesy late night shows being the vampire killer. And everything's sort of going on. He's got himself a new girlfriend, and Charlie's totally in self-denial about what happened before. Now, in this film, there's no evil left. He was doing a film, he did another film called 796 Evil or something. I've not seen that in years, that's why he couldn't do this. I was surprised he wasn't in this. So then the story is Jerry Dandrige's sister. She's 1,000 years old. She's turned up to get her revenge for to her, it's a massive insult that these two killed her brother. And it's sort of quite interesting. Now, Fright Night, the novel, it's referred that it could have been Dracula. So, I mean, that's what it's referred to in the actual novel, but it's only hinted at. So she turns up with a motley crew of vampires and werewolves or whatever, and starts knocking off people who he knows. I mean, he spots her when he moves in because he's in Peter. He goes sees Peter Vincent, and he's looking out of the window. I mean, this film replicates so much of the coffin's been moved in, and he's looking out, but this time there's 4 or 5 of them. And Regine is there to basically get Charley Brewster. It's funny how she treats Peter Vincent, But, there's a great scene in this movie with a roller skating vampire with loads of smoke and coming in for the kill. I mean, it's an iconic scene when, the roller skating vampire. Because I was lucky, when Fright Night 2 was released, it was very unlimited release. And I actually caught it at a very small cinema, and I actually went to see it. There wasn't much out there on this film. So when I went to see it, I just fell in love with this movie. Now the plot line, the humor moments, like when Charlie's trying to get off with his girlfriend in the car, it copies a lot of the first film, which I don't know, it just works in this film. The humor. I mean, there is some hilarious moments in the film with the werewolf vampire guy climbing up the wall, and he's trying to get into this, Charlie's girlfriend's room. She shuts the window and he goes flying off. I mean, there's some great scenes in this. I think Julie Carmen as Regine is excellent in this. It's a shame she never really became much of a bigger star. I think she's a psychiatrist now or something I was reading. She does quite a lot. It's like she got out of acting and she's done quite a lot of good things, She seems like a really nice person. But she played this part masterfully. She really did. I actually, really fell in love with the lady vampire in this movie. She was so cool. But the film, it runs along. They end up Peter Vincent. They go to his apartment and they're telling him, look, there's vampires. They're back, and And he thinks, and he's going, look, you know, let's go upstairs and see what's going on. And they end up walking into a party. And they go, Charlie, go up there with steak and cross, you know, and it's a party. And it sort of gets very interesting because, like, Regine, the vampire queen, she's like a performance artist. And she even takes Peter Vincent's job, you know, which is sort of interesting. I mean, she's out for revenge, but it's Charley Brewster she wants more than Peter Vincent. She looks at him as being quite weaselly, you know. Roddy McDowell's character is like, because when she meets him on the staircase, which is an awesome scene where she just stands there and says, "This is about blood, you killed my brother."
Charlie.
Alex?
So, like, Regine's plot, she's sort of like following Charley Brewster around. She turns up at his student dorm, like knocking up door, making out she's looking for another Charlie. And this is where she gets to say, because you've got to invite him in, haven't you? So, like, she gets in and she starts seeing she's going to turn him into a vampire and punish him forever for what he did. But there is some interesting twist with this, because I think she gets a bit jealous of his girlfriend's his feelings for her, and she does mother the other vampire. She's like the mother to him. It's all a bit weird. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's sort of, there's some interesting mechanics in this film, you know, because I don't know, because his mate gets turned into a vampire and he says to him, well, she's pissed at you now, but, you know, she'll probably forgive you in time. But she does seem to have, could there be an attraction with Regine and him? I don't know, because she does get a bit funny about it. But I did like this mothering side to her, you know, as being a queen vampire.
Come in.
Thanks. You mind if I smoke?
Oh. No, not at all. Please do. Here you go.
Got it, thanks. I'd kill for a cup of coffee.
Instant? Be all right? Drink a lot of this during finals, you know? Gotta stay up all night.
You remind me of someone.
Is that Charlie Cassidy?
No, that's my cousin. This guy had a mouth like yours, good lips. And he knew how to use them. Do you know how to use your lips, Charlie?
So, like, obviously, there's quite a lot going on. Regine goes in there, and Charlie wakes up the next morning and thinks he's having dreams and all this, and it all starts coming together. People are disappearing. And he goes to see Peter Vincent. Like I said, they go up to a party, and after, when Peter Vincent leaves the party, he looks in his mirror and she's no reflection, you know, the usual standard vampire tropes. And it's a great scene when she meets him on the stairs, you know. And she says, well, basically, I want him, but, you know, I'm coming for you as well, but he's going to suffer far worse than you. It's like she's got him worked out. So then, obviously, there's loads of things that are going on. His psychiatrist is a vampire. They get Peter Vincent committed because he tries staking her on the TV show. Now, there is a question. If vampires can't be seen in a mirror, then how can they be seen on a fucking TV screen? I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. So, they end up getting Charlie and Peter Vincent and that, you know, they have to go rescue him. And then we get into the whole battle scene of this film, you know, which is superb. It's all on the top floor. She's on the verge of converting him. They're climbing up outside the building, trying to get in there to rescue poor Charlie, who's having his blood sucked and, you know, by her, who's a babe. And I just love this movie. I really do.
I said I loved you.
Roddy McDowell is exemplary in this film, and it's down to Regine's mistake because, like, she won't register him as like a major threat. But the scene in the lift when she's smashing through and she's going to kill him, he gets the crucifix and he pushes her back. And do you know what I mean? That was like a mistake because when she met him on the steps, he wasn't a threat to her. You know, I don't think she was going to kill him. She was just going to destroy his life. But then we get into the old battle scene, like it's interesting, like the showdown and the atmosphere, you know. But like after all, like the hench people and the vampire on the roller skates, Belle and the werewolf guy, and Brian Brown, the dude from the X-Files, I think that's his name. He was great in this. He was eating insects and that. So we're getting to the final moment, and it's like the whole Regine and Charlie down in the basement. It's always in the basement, in it, where the coffin is, because he puts these like religious things in the coffin, and she can't get in there, and it's really like she's trapped, and the sun's coming up. You know, Fright Night 2 is just. I really enjoyed watching this again.
Come on, Charlie. You didn't think I'd let go that easily, did you? Very naughty, Charlie. That coffin's many hundreds of years old. You've destroyed it for me. But one mustn't get too attached to material things. And besides, I have plenty of other places to hang my hat. You just don't know. Convenient access to miles of tunnels. Goodbye, fearless vampire killer.
So what's in this film? Going over all its, like, there's a lot of history with this, which take quite a bit to cover, especially with like the director and stuff. Now, we've had 2 spin-off movies to this, but have got nothing to do with the original franchise. The one they made in 2011 was really good. It was not bad, you know, with David Tennant, and I thought David Tennant was the star in the remake. You know, and then they did Fright Night 2, New Blood. It was all right. It was a cheap and nasty, but they just did not have the magic of these 2 movies. I mean, Fright Night 2 is just so underrated. For me, I think it stands up to the first one. I really do. It just never got the backing when it got released. It's such a shame. The future of this, Roddy McDowall relished playing Peter Vincent, and he was superb at this and was eager to bring the original creator and director Tom Holland back to the franchise. So he had to set up a meeting for himself and Holland with Carol Core Pictures. Chairman George Menendez, however, before that meeting could occur, Menendez and his wife were murdered by their sons Lyle and Eric. Not only did this stop another sequel, it also interfered with the release of Fright Night Part 2, which just attained extremely limited theatrical distribution before being dumped on home video by Carol's subsidiary Live Entertainment. In January 2017, Tom Holland announced that he was writing a Fright Night 3 novel and that he would obtain the rights to the franchise and that a third film would be happening following the continued as the original 1985 Fright Night, which I really think Fright Night 2 should be included. I really do. Now, the end of the film, obviously, when they go down to the coffin, sometimes I get annoyed with Regine because really they defeated her and she could have, like, when they contaminated the coffin, she could have fucked off and, you know, gone into sewers and that, and then stayed down there until next night and then come back and got her revenge. But obviously you've got to finish your film. And I'm quite upset when they destroyed her, actually. It's because even after everything she'd lost, even though she, like, her plan had failed, she still wanted him, you know. And wouldn't you retreat and come back another time? Well, you could have made another movie. But all in all, William Ragsdale and Roddy McDowall, the chemistry with them two is superb. They are the heart of this movie. And of course, so is the vampires. But Fright Night we should have got a number 3 back then. But it's like the franchise, the other directions where the 2 new movies went, it was all right. You know, but you just can't beat these 2 originals. Now, the first one is a classic film. You know, it stands, it's for me, with the first comedy horror movie I saw. It changed horror for me because I'm not a big horror fan. You know, and I only jump in and out of horror. But when it comes to Fright Night, anything to do with Fright Night, I'm just on it, like, you know. I've really enjoyed covering this. So I'm going to say Fright Night 2, you are a classic and you stand equal to the first. You know, I am proud of you. You are an amazing film. You are this week's, well, you're the end of the year classic. Well done, Fright Night 2.
I kill.